Hi there, this is David and welcome to the Top 10 Best JRPG Party Members Part 3. Here, we're not going to be looking at main characters at all. We are only going to be looking at characters that join up later but are so good that they actually outshine the main hero himself. And if you missed the first two parts, please check for the links in the video description and let's get started. Number 10, Glenn of Chrono Cross. I've said it before and I'll say it again. I hate half the cast of this game, and if they're not completely useless, they're utterly annoying, and most of the time, they're both useless and annoying. And the worst part is, when you're saddled with so many characters to choose from, and only 2 real slots to use for 45 of the buggers, more often than not, if you're not really using a guide, some wonderful characters can slip through the cracks. And it's really easy for this to happen to Glenn, because in order to actually recruit him, you have to let Kid die. Something most first-time players would never choose to do, but if you're in the know, then you'll have one of the best characters in the game, because not only does Glenn have access to the mighty Einlanzer, he can travel to the other world and get 2 of them, and then dual weld them for massive damage. My, how the little frog has grown. Number 9, Gadwin of Grandia. From the time that Gadwin joins your party until he leaves, you have to actively try to lose. He pretty much single-handedly makes it impossible for you to die. The big guy joins up with you pretty much immediately after crossing the end of the world, and he's level 30, while everybody else is like level 10. He's literally 3 times as strong as the rest of your party, and as such, he single-handedly slaughters everything in his wake, carrying the rest of the party on his shoulders. Unfortunately, he's only with you during the middle portion of the game, but when he does leave you, he teaches Justin his best skill, the mighty Dragon Cut, which not only damages all enemies on the screen for massive damage, but raises your weapon, fire, and earth skills to super high levels. Using and abusing this skill is what turns Justin from a boy to a man. Number 8, Rune of Phantasy Star 4. Isn't it funny how some games balance their black mages? They're either super overpowered like Rita in Tales of Vesperia, or bottom of the barrel trash tier like Grun, Celine, and Breath of Fire 3's Nina. And on a side note, I don't care how many times you white knight for them in the comments, they'll still never sleep with you. Back to Rune though. He first joins you early in the game, and like Gadwin, he makes it impossible for your team to lose, at least until he's replaced by the lowly Gryzz. But later on, once he rejoins, he's a staple on the team, able to hit every elemental weakness known to man, and tearing asunder any random mobs unfortunate enough to cross you. As the cherry on top, he has more combos than anybody else in the entire game, so he can synergize with any party that you choose. He's the 5th generation Noah, and it shows. Number 7, Anna of Manichemia, Alchemists of Alravis. I've spoken before of how I'm a fan of Magic the Gathering. I began playing in 1994, and even then there was one particularly broken card that everyone sought, Time Walk. It allowed you to take an immediate extra turn after your current one. I'm sure people who have never played the game can still see how broken this card is. So now imagine that you have a character who is pretty much a living, breathing embodiment of Time Walk. Anna is a speed goddess who has an ability that lets her jump to the front of the turn order, deal damage while doing so, and you can use this as many times as you want. It just has diminishing chances of activation. Think Raquel's Intrude skill. Add to the fact that she's super strong, able to hit bosses over 10 times with skills such as Dancing Blade Chaos, and it's a wonder that she's not banned like the Magic card. Number 6, Cream of Sonic Chronicles Dark Brotherhood. Growing up, I was definitely a Nintendo kid. My parents would have never bought me a Nintendo and a Sega because as far as they were concerned, they were the same thing. So I missed out on the Phantasy Star and Shining Force series until later in life, but all in all, I think that I did get the better deal with the Nintendo and then PlayStation route. Basically, I followed Square and all the RPGs. So I was actually personally thrilled when Sega moved to just being a third-party developer, and I got a chance to catch up on the Sonic universe. having never played any of the mainline series, but liking the cartoon growing up. And here I could experience it all in RPG form. But anyway, I've really gone off on a tangent here. Let's get to what this is all really about. Cream. She's your healer, but she can also heal your magic points, allowing you to use all your best moves every single turn. She's completely broken and fantastic, but that's all the time that I have for her because I went off on that aforementioned tangent, so moving on. Number 5, Desco, of Disgaea 4, A Promise Unforgotten. Another best party members list, another strategy RPG. But here I'm going to talk about a series that I haven't mentioned too much on my channel. I've played the Disgaea series, but there's just something about it that just really doesn't click with me. It's just a bit too absurd for my tastes. I guess I prefer medieval swords and sorcery to underworld antics, but enough about that. Desco, as annoying as she may be, is a complete powerhouse here. I mean, she's supposed to be the final boss for God's sakes. But what really makes her shine above the rest is her ability to fuse with monsters, gain extra power based upon how many characters are adjacent to her, and then just go off like a nuclear bomb on your enemies with massive area of effect skills for incredible damage. There are entire maps designed around her brokenness to power level your team to godlike status. Number 4, Rita, of Tales of Vesperia. I know that some people only use characters that they like in their party, but I'm not one of those people. I am able to separate a character's personality from their use in battle. So even if Rita is an insufferably annoying psychotic bitch, I can still appreciate that she's a one-woman wrecking machine in battle, especially once you get her screen-sweeping spells such as Tidal Wave. Hitting all the enemies on the screen multiple times for respectable damage is one thing, but doing it over and over and over again once she goes into overlimit is just obscene. I mean, it's not a joke when someone says blah 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 Tidal Wave, because that's literally what she says in the game, and that's also how long it takes for her to cast the next one, followed by the next, and then the next. And because she's getting so many hits doing this, she's pretty much able to just go straight back into overlimit mode once she's out of it. She's beyond broken, but I'm not complaining. Number 3, Valsu of the 7th Saga. Normally, I find most white mages to just be mediocre, a necessary evil to have to lug around to keep the rest of the more important party members alive. But in a game as ridiculously hard as the 7th Saga, having a healer around is a necessity. However, a lot of characters can heal in this game, so what really puts Valsu over the edge is his great stats across the board, along with a plethora of buffing and healing spells. Even though he's stuck with the lowly Ice 1 the entire game, it does scale quite nicely, and he's the only character with access to every stat buffing spell. And anyone who's ever played this game knows what a godsend those are during the tougher boss fights. Then, towards the end of the game, when the difficulty jumps from insanely challenging to nigh on impossible, he gets the mighty Elixir spell, which pretty much turns him into a portable inn, healing everybody's HP and MP, even the MP used to cast the spell in the first place. Number 2, Millennia of Grandia 2. Elena and Millennia are two sides of the same coin, one a white mage, one a black mage. One the epitome of patience and kindness, the other a hysterical, maniacal bitch on wheels. And trust, I love me a good bitch. Not only is Millennia able to use the best attack magic in the game, but she has an overlimit gauge where if she's attacked enough, she gets really pissed and then just unleashes her rage upon any poor unsuspecting souls unfortunate enough to be around her. But her true utility lies in just one supremely overpowered, completely broken spell. After defeating the Eye of Valmar, Millennia will have access to Spellbinding Eye, which lets you paralyze every single thing in the entire game, even the final boss, with 100% accuracy. Mic drop. I really don't think that I need to elaborate on how broken this is. And finally, number 1, Gryzz of Albert Odyssey. This game begs the question, why would the developers stick everyone into a predetermined class but then just have one party member able to do everything better than everyone else? This super powerful dragon is not only your best hitter, but he's also your best healer. Healing Breath not only heals the entire party, but it does it for free. And that's not the only breath that he gets. All of them hit every single mob on the screen for no cost whatsoever. And because they thought that this didn't make him good enough, he's immune to poison too. And his HP is just about double everybody else's, and he has naturally high defense. I mean, sometimes it's easier just to let him solo the bosses rather than try in vain to keep everybody else alive. You would think that someone this obscenely overpowered would be like a hidden character though, right? Nope, this guy is just handed straight off to you right towards the beginning of the game. Well, that's it for the top 10 best JRPG party members part 3. Please be on the lookout for part 4 because your comments keep piling it up and remind me of more kernels of greatness. Also, check out the playlists on my homepage for more top 10s just like this. This has been David. If you like this, please like, comment, and subscribe, and have a good day.